Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing great. Today I'm bringing you 4 no-sew tops that will hopefully keep you busy and distracted so that you don't notice that 2020 is an actual nightmare. So I got this t-shirt in a size small. It's a men's t-shirt in this beautiful mustard color. It's still so summery and I feel like yes, summer is ending, but we still need to keep the spirit alive. And at this point, yellow is definitely the color. So this is a size small. She's gorgeous. I was going to turn this into 2 tops, so I'm going to show you how to do that and you can slay the entire fall. Let me tell you, any outfit can be a winter or fall appropriate outfit if you make it, no matter how whole it is. Okay, you heard that here first. So what I'm going to do is I made sure to stretch out the t-shirt, that way I could mark an accurate length. I wanted this to be super cropped, so I marked that point with a piece of chalk, and there she was. The mark was complete. And I'm also going to mark how low I want my neckline to be. This was a comfortable point for me, and she ended up stooping really low, so I would say be cautious with this unless you want your nipples and everything to the wind. Okay, so I just drew a line through that point I marked, and this is going to help crop the t-shirt. Guys, if you've been here a while, can we appreciate how much straighter my lines look now? Like, I could not do this a few months ago. I have grown as a person, and I really appreciate that my t-shirts are not crooked anymore. So I just cut through that line, divided my top into 2, get rid of the bottom bit, divorce her. You don't need her. I'm kidding. We obviously need her. So you're going to fold the top bit of the t-shirt in half, and I just made sure everything was nice and even, and I took a small plate, and I'm going to use this to mark out kind of a quarter circle, and this will form a full circle once we unfold everything. So I aligned my plate with my mark, and I'm just going to draw out that circle shape, and we're going to be good to go at this point. So once I had my circle bit carved out, it was time to cut through her. She was talking to me about her issues and I was listening, but I was also cutting her off. You know, keep your enemies close is what I was doing here. So once I'd cut off that bit, as you can see, once the shirt is unfolded, we have a circle that's not so even, but who cares? So now I'm just going to draw a straight line through the middle, and let me be honest, I just completely eyeballed this, and I'm just going to cut through that point only through the first layer to open this up. And once that was done, I turned this inside out, and now it's time to hem everything. So we're going to be using fabric glue in some of these projects. Some of them don't have to use fabric glue, but I think fabric glue is just a lifesaver if you don't know how to sew or don't want to sew. And a lot of people do ask me if fabric glue is washable, and it is, girl. And the 2 brands I'd highly recommend are Fevicryl and Tearmender. Those are the only 2 I can speak for. Any other fabric glue has to come to a meeting first for me to like her, okay? She has to do an interview. So those are the only 2 brands I can personally recommend. So anyway, enough jibber jabber. All I'm doing is I'm hemming basically all the points I showed you. And for the top bit, I made sure to create a casing that was bigger than a regular hem. As you saw, for the side bits, the hem was thinner, but at this point, I'm making her wide. I need her to accommodate me and my baggage, so she had to be big enough. And I did mess up, and the thing with fabric glue is you can wipe it off when still wet, but once she dries, honey, she is there to destroy a marriage, so you better make sure she's not in the wrong place at the wrong time. So all I'm doing is I'm gluing down that edge and making sure I have enough space that I can pass a bit of string through after everything is said and done. And this definitely took some time, and you will get acquainted with fabric glue. In all my tutorials that use fabric glue, I let people know that she's about to become your in-law. You guys, she's going to be all up in your face, telling you how to live your life. Unsolicited advice is going to be her job. So just make sure you're prepared to get lots and lots of fabric glue. But it's usually so worth it because you can easily wash it off, and you have a new cute top at the end of this, so no complaints here. So all I did is I went all around the neckline, just gluing down the edge, making sure to really press her down. Hold her for a few minutes if you have to, and make sure she's getting acquainted with her new boyfriend and she likes him. And I did this all throughout the entire neckline. This did take time, but once everything was nice and in its place, I was happy this was done with. So once the neckline is done, as you can see, the top is coming together, and now it's time to hem the bottom of the top because we need everything to look nice and neat. So to hem the bottom is totally optional. I do like the kind of cleaner look that hemming gives your tops. And you can definitely leave this as is because t-shirt material, stretchy material, doesn't really fray. So it's not going to be out here telling your business to the entire world. But I just like how neat it looks and how professional, and it actually does look like something you bought sometimes. So I just feel like going this extra step and taking some extra time makes sure you get a top that you will really be proud of. So I just did this because I prefer it, but you don't have to. So if you don't want to do this, kindly feel free to skip this and just live your best life. So all I'm doing is I'm hemming the bottom, and I did this by applying some glue along the bottom edge and making sure to press down a little bit of that fabric, and make sure you're doing this on the inside of the fabric. You don't want to hem on the right side of your fabric unless that's the look you're going for. Maybe you're a trendsetter, who knows, you could be the next designer with the outside hem. So do that if you feel like that's the direction you want your life to take. So once everything is nice and glued down, we now have our complete top. We need to let her dry for at least 2 hours for the glue to set so that she doesn't move around when we're working on the top. So in the meantime, I decided to work on the string, and all I'm doing is on the bottom piece of t-shirt left, I'm marking out 3 centimeters, and this is going to be how wide my string will be. If you want it wider, make it wider. If you want it thinner, feel free to do that. So I just drew a straight line through all the points, and this made sure that everything was nice and even. And once I was satisfied with my line, I cut through the piece of fabric, making sure to cut through both layers because I wanted both layers to form my string. So once that was done, I had a piece of string that was 3 centimeters wide. I made sure to open it up on one side, and I made sure to get rid of the bulky side seam. She wasn't needed here. Her negative energy was just getting in my space, and I did not need that. So now you have a string that looks like this, and this length was enough for me. If you feel like you need a bit more length, feel free to join a few pieces. So now with the fabric right side up, you are gluing on the right side right now. I'm just making sure to apply glue on one edge and really going crazy with this. This was so quick and easy, honestly took no time at all. And as you can see, I'm just joining the two sides together by pressing them together and making them understand that they need to love each other and be there for each other, because 2020 needs real friendships. So I did this all throughout the length of the string. I did not want this to come undone. I didn't want this to flake on me when I needed her, so I made sure to really make sure everyone was glued together and happy. And after doing this for quite a while, I was done and ready to move on to letting her be her own woman and giving her space to dry. So as you can see, fabric glue is all over my fingers. She does not care who I am. To her, I am a nobody, and she will do whatever she wants. But once I glued the edges together, I let this dry for 2 hours, and that's to make sure everything sets. That way when you're working with it, it doesn't come undone. And after 2 hours, this is what the string looked like, and it's time to take my handy dandy loop turner. She is my husband. The loop turner has been there for me and my children, and I'm forever grateful for that. So the loop turner is really easy to use. You just slide it in through your string, grasp a piece of fabric at the end, and make sure you loop it through the hook, and then you pull it within itself. That way the right side of your string comes out. As you can see, it comes out. She's ready to bloom. I got rid of the loop turner and continued to turn the string inside out. Well, the right way out in this case. And I made sure to really pull on her. I made sure to stretch her to her limits. That way I knew I had someone I could count on, and the edges were a bit wonky, so I made sure to cut them off. And once that was done, my string is now ready to thread through my neckline. So I'm going to take my string. This is the top after 2 hours, by the way. So I'm going to take my string, I'm going to hook a safety pin onto one end, and I'm going to use this safety pin to guide the string through the neckline. So now you can see why we made the casing a bit bigger. We need her to accommodate us and our children and our baggage, and she needs to be ready to accept that, whether she likes it or not in this case. So just make sure your casing's wide enough and you will have no problems at this stage. So I just continued to thread the string, and once it came out the other end, you are basically done. You just need to get rid of the safety pin because she's now in your space and she doesn't need to do that. And at this point, I made sure to shush out the fabric because you want it to be evenly gathered. It's not a nice look when you have a lot of gathering at one point and less gathering at the other. So just make sure you shush everything out, and once that's done, turn your top the right way out. Make a pretty bow at the front. If you can't, it's okay. Just make whatever type of knot works for you. And you're going to leave this to dry for 24 hours before wear. With fabric glue, you need to give her time to just be, and once the 24 hours are up, you have a brand new tie top that basically cost you $2. So I really love this trend. I love that it's been so in this year with the tie cardigans, the tie tops. I think it's so cute, and if you feel like this is too much, you can definitely layer something underneath, and if you want it to be more fall appropriate, just use a less brighter color and you'll be good to go. So now it's time to move on to making the second top, and you're going to be making a one shoulder top. And I took this red top that I love the fit of. I don't like the top, but I like the fit. I've had this red top since I was 15. Anyway, that's not why you're here to hear my life story. So I'm basically outlining the shape, and I didn't leave any seam allowance, and that's because your girl loves a tight top, okay? I work hard for this body. I've been doing the Chloe Ting workouts, and I want to show her off, even if it's fall, even if it's winter. But if you want to have a bit more space to breathe, make sure you leave a bit of seam allowance. So once you have your shape, you're going to cut it out, and basically you have your one shoulder template, and you are basically done. How simple is this? Obviously, we need to glue stuff together, so let's finish cutting first. So I took my time, cut out the shape. I was happy. This top literally, I kid you not, took me about 20 minutes to make, and that's because of all the fabric glue getting up in my space. So what you're going to do once you have your top is you're going to flip it so that the right side is up. You need to glue them right sides together. So I took the other piece and put it right side facing the other right side, and you're going to glue the sides and the top bit, and you're basically done with your top. So I made sure to apply a generous amount of fabric glue and then glued the pieces together. As you can see, this is so easy. Honestly, a child could do this, and I kid you not. So once I glued that side, it was time to glue the other side because I did not want her gaping open and spilling my secrets to my enemies. She was not my friend, but she needed to shut up, okay? So I basically did the same thing on the other side. I glued the two sides together, and this took no time. I feel like I'm saying that a lot in this tutorial, and I repeated the same for the top bit. I just glued the shoulder bit together, and once everything was nice and glued, I had to take a shower because fabric glue was in crevices it shouldn't have been in. But you're going to leave this to dry for 2 hours, and we need to hem the top. So this is definitely optional. You can leave it as is at this point and wear it, but I decided to hem it, and she looked cuter. And you're going to leave it for 24 hours, and once they are up, you have your beautiful one shoulder top. So look at that. It's so nicely fitting, and this literally took no time at all. I really love it, and I think this is going to look great underneath something on its own as a bikini top when it's winter. Who knows? I'm feeling adventurous, and we'll see how this goes, but I really love this, and the one shoulder trend has definitely been so in this year as well. So I definitely recommend you try this and let me know how you like it. So now to move on to the second t-shirt, because we need to make 2 more tops out of this. So this is exactly the same color of t-shirt, the same brand, same type, and it's in the size small, and she's looking cute. This mustard color I'm not getting over anytime soon. Just like my ex would get over me, life is a two-way street, baby, and life is just difficult for him. Anyway, this is a top. She's beautiful. She's ready to blossom into a butterfly. She's now a caterpillar, a cute caterpillar, but she needs to bloom. So we're now going to make the twist top, which is super simple to do, and we'll have your kidneys out for the winter, which is exactly the look I'm always going for. So the first thing we're going to do is mark the length of our top. I made sure to crop her because is it really a fashion wizardry tutorial if everything is not super short and makes everyone uncomfortable? So through that point, I drew a straight line, and this was going to be the length of my t-shirt. Feel free to use a t-shirt as is, make it as long as you like. It is your body. You do what you want with it. You have one life, so you wear whatever you want. So I cut through the line with my pair of scissors, separated the two pieces. They were never going to see each other again. The relationship was over. And then I turned my shirt inside out, and now I'm going to hem the bottom. Again, this is totally optional, but as I said, this just makes everything look nice and neat, and it's going to make sure that no one knows you can't sew, you can't learn a skill to save your life, and you just like taking the easy way out in things. I'm kidding. Honestly, this no-sew projects sometimes take longer than my sew projects. But yeah, just do it. Go the extra mile. What else could you be doing? Brunch? No, you should be quarantining. You should be home, and this is a great way to pass the time and think about your life and all the mistakes you've made this far and the things you do differently if you could do life again. But anyway, that's just my thoughts when gluing down fabric. And then you're going to leave this to dry for 24 hours, of course. And after trying this on, I decided I did not like the neckline. She had to leave the building. She had to let my relationship bloom. She was standing in my way. So I got rid of her. And honestly, this is totally a preference. You can definitely leave the neckline in if that's your look. So once I'd gotten rid of the neckline, I made sure to really stretch it so that it would fold up and look nice and beautiful. And now it's time to wear this contraption. So you're going to take out one sleeve, okay? Be with me as I do this. And then you're going to take the bottom and loop it through the top. And basically you're just turning one arm until the right side comes out again. And this will create the twist at the front and the back of your top. So I know it seems difficult. You can leave it like this, honestly. But just make sure you even everything out so that it looks nice and neat. And this is so easy to do. I promise you, it might look really hard as you see me do it. But once you're doing it, it just makes sense. Just make sure right sides are out on both of the sleeves. You shush everything out, make sure everything is straightened out, and once that's done, you have your twist top. I told you this was super simple to do, and you can see the kidneys are out, everything is on display, and that's exactly how I like my tops. I really love this top. I think it's super simple, and if you're not hemming the top, this basically doesn't need you to even glue it down. So just make sure you try this. It is super simple and basically requires zero skills. And I've been doing this trick for years. Actually, I did it in my 50 outfits when you have nothing to wear video, and people really liked the hack. And I think it's such a fun way to revamp maybe your boring t-shirts in your closet and show a lot of kidney while at it. So it's definitely a win for me. So that's the back of the top. As you can see, there's also a twist. And now it's time to make the last and final top. So I'm going to open it up on both sides. So I just cut through the side seams, and I made sure to get two pieces out of this. We're basically making a bandeau with a circle thing at the front. You're gonna see it, okay? So once I'd separated the two pieces, once I made them understand that this relationship was just not meant to be, I made sure to get rid of the side seams as well because they were bulky, and I felt like they'd add unnecessary baggage to my relationship, and I've already dealt with baggage and exes. I just didn't need it in my t-shirt as well. So I had two pieces after this, and now it's time for the magic. So I got a bunch of binder rings from AliExpress, but you can get these at a local bookstore. They're just used for binders. And I decided to use this in my top because we love a creative moment. And this binder rings ended up being really small, so I do wish I'd sized up. That's what she said. But it worked out fine. So I'm just going to glue down the edge. As you can see, I looped the fabric through, and I'm just gluing it down inside of the binder ring just to make sure we have that loop around our center so that it gives the top some structure and stability that we lack in our actual life. So I just made sure to really go ham with my glue. There is no method here. You will have a bit of bunching up around the ring, especially if your ring is as small as mine. You are going to struggle, but it's going to be fine. So I did the same thing for the second bit of fabric. I looped it through my ring, made sure to really pull all the fabric through, make sure no man is left behind, and I made sure to have as less of fabric as possible behind the binder ring because you don't want to take away from the top itself. I don't know if I'm making sense, but just make sure you have sufficient fabric to just lay down flat on the inside. So I glued everything down, pressed it down. This did take quite a bit of glue, and don't worry about glue, it dries clear. At least for this brand, it dries clear-ish, so you're good to go. So you're going to leave this for 24 hours before wear, and once the 24 hours are up, I'm going to show you how to tie this top because a lot of people did ask me how to tie the top in my last no-sew. So I basically got the top bits, tied them together in a knot, and then the bottom bits, tied them together in a knot, and that was basically it. You can also do one big knot at the back, but I just felt like that was too bulky for this top. So you tie it however you feel like. It is a free America, baby, so you live your life. And once everything is nice and tied up, oops, I made sure to straighten out the bottom bit, sorry. But now the top is ready and you are ready to slay the winter. So look at that. I love this top and it's so simple to make and looks so fabulous. So what's not to love about it? And if you want it to be a bit bigger around the middle bit, just use a bigger binder ring. You can use a hoop earring. Just get creative and go wild. But basically, this is a top. Excuse my nipple covers. They were being enemies of progress. They have since been discarded, but they just had to have their 15 seconds of fame, and I'm going to let them be. If you know of a brand that does nipple covers that don't need to be seen this much, let me know down below. But this is a top. She still looks cute. She was shining, baby, and I was really happy with her. So I really love this entire video. I feel like I made a bunch of tops that are going to be fabulous all through winter, next summer. We'll see how life goes, maybe through quarantine. I don't know how I'm feeling like, but I know that I love all these 4 tops. So I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Sorry she was a bit lengthy, but I hope that you enjoyed the tops. You're going to make some of the tops. Let me know which one was your favorite. Let me know which one you're going to be trying. But for now, I'm going to leave you, let you be. Let me let you get to it. Just remember, fabric glue is about to become your new boyfriend, and I approve of that. See you guys in my next one. Bye.